Welcome back, guys, to another episode here on the Let's Play world. And as you can tell, I got this piglin farm working pretty well. It still has some things we can do to increase the efficiency, but there's a couple of things I did wrong last episode with this farm. And actually, wait, I'm gonna turn down the sounds of these zombie piglins. But the first thing I did wrong, and probably the most important thing, was the spacing that I had for the turtle eggs up there was wrong. So the zombie piglins couldn't see the turtle eggs in the center, and all of my floors, except for I think the bottom and the topmost floor, weren't even working correctly. So I really only had two floors working, on top of not having enough of these spawnable blocks slabbed up. So yeah, those are the two things I fixed. I got the spacing correct on the turtle eggs. You need 2 blocks of air above each turtle egg so that the zombie piglin can see it correctly. So I got that working. And I also went and I did a lot of slabbing of the spawnable blocks down below. So what that means is we can use our farm for the most part now. I've been using it mainly as like an AFK farm, and I've been AFKing here, putting in quite a bit of time because I wanted to really see the rates, and it's nothing too like wowie right now. I think I have a couple stacks of gold blocks, which is pretty nice. But when we start getting this connected to our bartering farm, we're gonna want more, I think. Or maybe it'll be fast enough with the auto crafter we can get everything to be automatic. Who knows? I really want the auto crafter in the game, guys, but it's probably going to be another month and a half before it's added. So we have to kind of work without it for a little bit. Yeah, here it is working as sort of like a looting 3 farm, and I need to make a Smite 5 sweeping 3 sword with looting, and probably put it in like a little item frame here. I think that would be cool. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's working now. I'm not gonna put too much more work into it, and we're just gonna. I want to get the bartering farm set up because there's a lot of items in a bartering farm that I want that I'm slowly burning through. You can see my stash of gold blocks from AFKing. I've probably done like 6 to 8 hours of AFKing, which now that I'm saying it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's working well. I've had to empty out the zombie flesh chest quite a bit, and what I should do is like, if there's any zombie flesh that makes it past this silo of zombie flesh, I just like spit it into fire or lava or something and just auto destroy it. I do want to keep a small stash of it though, because you can use this to trade with, I want to say the clerk villagers. So it's like another source. Like we're not going to use this for anything else, so might as well use it to get a ton of emeralds when we build our villager hall, which I probably want to do soon. If I'm being honest, we might get the villager update, like the trade update, with the next one. So if I want to take advantage of the villager trading with books now, I need to get on that. So with the base farm done, all that's left now is to kind of create the bartering farm. And I'm going to kind of explain my idea for this and my plan, because I'm once again going the route of less efficiency, but I'm hoping it looks cooler, or it's more interactive to say. So we're going to start off building the piglin bartering farm down here, closer to the roof of the nether, and we're going to be dropping the gold ingots somewhere right around, I think right next to this torch, actually. It's going to be like right in that corner of the farm, a little bit off of the platform we built. So we're going to drop the gold ingots down here. It's going to get fed into the system, and we're going to have about, I haven't really picked a number, but somewhere between like 16 to 18 or even 20 piglins in a system. I'm going to do two to a module, and I'll just feed them gold ingots. And this is where it's going to become like the cool and interactive thing. So I'm going to put an item sorter on the end of the farm that's housing the piglins. And then what I'm thinking of doing is I'm not going to do the bulk storage of the items we get from the farm there. What I want to do, and I don't know, I don't have this mapped out perfectly yet, so I kind of, that's why I want to start on this. I kind of want to do these storage silos for each item. So you know how you can get gravel? We're going to do like a little, actually it won't be little, but we'll do like a circle or a silo right here of a ton of chests that go up, and it'll just be for gravel because the items are going to get sorted at the end with the piglins on. And and we'll have one for each item. And how we're going to like send the items from the farm to the storage silos is with either hopper minecart or chest minecarts. That's another thing I haven't worked out yet. I've been doing some testing with chest minecarts, although I think hopper minecarts, I'm not filling the chest minecarts up 100%, so I could use the hopper minecarts because they would pull the items faster, I believe, making the whole system more, I guess, more fast in general. So I think it'll look cool. I hope I explained that well. But that's the next step essentially, is just to get started on this. So let me get to building, and I'm gonna be giving you guys updates along the way. So we have what I'd call the first phase of this project done. And what that consists of is we have 2 item filters and a little friend, and the cells for our piglins all built. Well, the cells are half built. I gotta get the piglins in to finish them. But yeah, look at this, guys. So each side consists of about, I want to say 13 regular item filters and 1 non-stackable item filter, which is pretty cool. That's because bartering gives us a couple of non-stackable items. Mainly, we get enchanted books, we get some potions, some water bottles, and I think some iron boots as well with the soul speed enchantment on. So we got to make sure we have a place for those. But this is what it looks like, and this is all the storage that we'll have up here right under the farm. Because what's going to happen next, or maybe not immediately next, but what's going to come in the future is underneath these double chests, and I gave myself 2 double chests of storage, I'm going to be doing 1 wide minecart loaders. And what those essentially do is they just load up minecarts with some items, and that's where I'm going to ship them out to the silos. And that's also why I gave myself a lot of space. I built this pretty high up. It's so high up that it's almost at the farm itself, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I gave myself space for those minecart loaders, and also so that I can make the silos, because the silos are going to be pretty tall themselves, because it's going to have a ton of storage in them. And that's where the bulk storage for this farm is going to go, is in those silos. So I'm very excited to show you guys that. It's going to be an interesting part of this farm where it's going to have minecarts zipping around, and it's going to make it look alive. Now, I did want to have another aspect of this use minecarts. Originally, I was going to put tracks on top of the item filters here and kind of have like a minecart hopper just bounce back and forth. And the idea was that it would pull items from the hopper up there where the piglins dropped them. And, you know, as it bounced back and forth, it would slowly distribute it across the item filters. But I ran into a problem with the non-stackable item filter where if I let stackable items get into it, and it would, with this idea of having the minecart hopper go back and forth over it, it would actually, like, it wouldn't break it, but it would, you know, put a little bit of stackable items in that chest, you know, where I didn't want them to go. Because I couldn't find a way around that, I just ended up going with a hopper chain, which was a little bit expensive. This is about 30 plus hoppers just for one side, and just for these 2 rows right here. So I had to duplicate it over there on the other side as well. And what that means is we have a little bit slower speed in getting the items to come down this chain, because it's going at hopper speed to go like zoop down and then over. It shouldn't be a problem because we only have about 8 piglin per side. It shouldn't create a bottleneck based on, you know, how many items we're going to be producing with the amount of piglins we have. But what I plan to do is right over here at the end of this chain, I'm going to do like an overflow chest or 2. And I'll keep an eye on it when we first spin up the farm and see if anything makes it over here. Because we only have 1 filter per item in this farm. But like I said, I don't think we're going to be producing so much items, or so many items where 1 filter is going to get overflowed and it's going to have an excess go all the way down here at the end of the line. But that's something we're going to test in the future once we get everything put in place. What comes next is I need to get some piglins in these cells and then close them up. So that's going to be fun. I did get a little bit lucky with that platform that I built in the Crimson Forest biome over there. It did seem to spawn these piglins in pretty easily, so I didn't have to do any staircasing downtown to the roof or anything. But yeah, so I have every cell filled up with 2 piglins, and what I went ahead and did is I put a few gold ingots in each of these droppers so I can kind of demonstrate how like this is gonna work, and also so that we can get some items essentially, because we need to fill up the item filters now. Currently and like I don't have to travel back to my old bartering farm just to grab a few items for the filter. And so I think what we can do is just trade a few times, get the items, and use those to fill up the filters. And yeah, so essentially what I was missing was the cobweb. And the reason the cobweb is important is because the gold ingots are going to drop out onto this pressure plate. And as soon as one of the 4 piglins on either side pick it up, it's going to fire another one, and then another and another. And it's going to constantly keep a gold ingot on the pressure plate unless we have the farm turned off. But what that does is, because the gold ingot is sitting in the middle of this cell, the piglins are going to be looking at it. So they're going to be looking this way up at the gold ingot. And sometimes when they're like doing their trading, the items that they want to trade for the gold ingot, they'll throw at an angle and it'll like land up on that pressure plate. And so how we stop that is by introducing the cobweb here, where their items will get caught in it, lose their like sideways momentum, and just drop straight down into the hopper, which is what we want. Sometimes the gold ingot gets caught in like the corner of it and slowly drops onto the pressure plate, but that's fine. As long as the bartering items don't land on it, I'm okay with that. So let's activate this. Oh, you saw that. That one got caught. Oh, it looks like a couple spit out here. Uh-oh. Wait, why'd that spit out so many? But yeah, let's see what we have. So, oh, we have a good variety so far. Oh, we might be pretty close to having everything. You know what? Looking back on this, I may have gone a little overboard on the amount of storage we're going to be using for each item in the bartering farm. So this is what the silos are going to look like. Just a mountain, not really mountain, I guess, but a small hill of double chests. And yeah, it's a lot of chests and hoppers. This is very expensive. I made a ton of chests and hoppers thinking, okay, this could get me through like 4 or 5 of them, maybe 6, but I'm almost out already after 2 of them. So yeah, this is gonna be a lot of building. But I have 2 of them hooked up, guys, just to one side, and I kind of wanted to do a little test with you, you know, just to see how it works. And this is like the final piece of this machine, I guess, or this farm. And then after that, I'll just build the rest out, and you guys will get to see the finished product. I think I'm going to go with hopper minecarts, though, just because we're not even filling them up all the way, so it doesn't make sense to do chest minecarts. Although I guess the chest minecarts would look cooler. You know what? I may have just convinced myself, but I'll change it out later. Let's get to the testing. So this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. Just the first 2. I have them hooked up here. And so it's going to be obsidian and crying obsidian. And we have the hopper minecart loaders. And then all the way over here, you guys will see on top of these silos, I put minecart unloaders. And there's 2 of them because I was thinking about what I wanted to do on that other side. Because remember, we have 2 of the storage or the item filters. And instead of doing a fancy, you know, thing of I have 1 track per silo and I use like activator rails and I switch tracks based on, you know, I guess memory within the track, like which cart, like where it came from last. I don't want to, that sounds complicated, and my knowledge of rails and minecarts is not that great. So I'm going to go with 2 tracks. 2 tracks per silo, and I'll just route the other, or the second track of each silo to the other side with the matching item sorter. But yeah, so all we have to do theoretically is, and I want to test 2 things. I want to test, you know, if the minecart goes there, comes back, and theoretically, if there's no items waiting for it at the item sorter end, it should sit there waiting for items to come in, which is what I want. I don't want minecarts always moving, because then there's a chance where I unload the chunks or log out that the minecart glitches and just freezes in the track, creating a point of failure, which would mean like coming up here, fixing all the minecarts, and then who knows how many times I'd have to do that. So all we have to do is put the minecart here because there's no items in it, and it should go off to the other end. Is it pulling? Oh, no, you know what? Okay, no, this is why we test. This is why we test. Okay. Let me put these back in. I have too much power, as in power rails coming in from the entrance. So I actually need to reduce how fast they're coming in. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I want to get rid of these two and these two. And I need to move the levers underneath because the hopper minecart needs to kind of sit right here at the bend on both rails. And as you guys just saw, it was all the way up on the activator rail against the comparator. So that doesn't work. All right, so I fixed the lever situation. I'm just going to start it from here because I might have to play around with it some more. But let's just nudge this and... there we go. That right there is perfect. And it departed. Did it get a lot? Oh, I got a decent amount. Which means it's going to go all the way back, unload it, and then it should come right back. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh! Okay, that was just taking a little bit to unload. I almost bumped it. All right. And it should grab the rest of it. No, but you see that one up onto the thing. That's not good. That's inconsistency, which we don't want. Okay, so it looks like I have to do my testing all the way back here because it has to get up to speed. It looks like that, or I keep reducing the amount of rails on this side. Oh, there's only 3 on this. Okay. I'm going to keep testing this real quick, guys. Okay, so I think I have it down now. It's not a big problem or a bigger problem than I thought it was. What we need to do essentially is for each track, and this is going to vary for every single track. So that's also the in and the both sides track for each silo. We have to get the speed down flat, like correct. By messing with the tracks, and it's gonna be a little bit of a pain while building, but it is pretty consistent once you get it done. So let me make sure I'm not blocking this minecart. Let me put some more items in this. There you go. So it gets sent back. Did I take all of it? It did. And it's gonna come over here and unload it, and we should see it get stuck again. So it's basically as soon as we get the minecart speed correct, it will work consistently. And I hope I don't eat my words here and this doesn't work, but it should get stuck. Yeah, it's stuck on the block again. Let me see my other one. I'll show you guys the first one because I did that one too. Oh, actually no, the obsidian can stay in there. All right, this one was a little bit easier for me to do. Oh, I just barely didn't make it. There we go. But this one is also tuned correctly, so it should stop on the hill, like so. It's a little bit different than the other one, but they're both pulling from the hopper and activating, so should be fine. But yeah, so that's my work cut out for me, guys, and that's my vision for this farm. I'm gonna do the rest of the silos, and I'm also gonna hook up the other side, basically completing this, and I'll show you the finished product. Do you ever just start a project, get like 80% of the way through building it, and then start to get the feeling that it's not gonna work, and it might have bugs, and it might be crappy? Well, I had that building this, and I was right. So I tore it all down already, but I did take some footage, and I'll overlay that now. But I finished my original idea, my original vision, with what I wanted to do with the bartering farm and these storage silos, and that was to hook them up to the item sorters here, but use these silos as the main storage. And I did it with minecarts, as you can see, and it was a lot of minecarts and a lot of tracks, and it ended up looking like a big spaghetti mess. I had 2 tracks for each item, essentially, because we had one in front, and then we had one in back, and you can see the remnants of the 2 tracks here. I left these here because they're currently spawn proofed, so I don't have to worry about them decreasing rates at all. And I don't know, I still want to use these before I tear them down. There's a little bit of items in them. I haven't run the farm like too much, but Yeah. So I want to see if I can, I mean, if I have to just run like chains of hoppers, I might do that, honestly. Who knows? But what I've done currently as a kind of a remedy is I built kind of two large chest walls around the farm, as you guys can see. And I've been working on other stuff within the farm. But man, oh man, yeah, it's kind of a shame that my idea with the minecarts didn't work because I thought it would look really cool. And also, I liked the idea of like walking down this hallway right here to get the items I need. So yeah, like I said, we might try something in the future still. Like, what I could do is run a single minecart that just goes, it doesn't care about item sorting. It goes underneath the item sorters over there, picks up everything, and then I put sorters on top of these silos. That could work, and that was one of the original ideas, but it's really, really slow, is the problem. So I'd have to like AFK here, even while the farm's not running, just to make sure all the items make it over here. So that's something I'm gonna be doing later though, and probably off camera. It's been a lot of work already, working on this farm, tearing stuff down and rebuilding, and then tearing that down. So this is what I have going on right now, and what I have built. I've added storage to the item sorters, and this is gonna be my bulk storage for a little bit, just because I want to be done with this. But I also added trash cans at the end of the line here because I predict the storage like stuff at the end here. This is for my non-stackables. This is probably gonna fill up really fast, and I'm gonna need a way without it ruining my item sorters back there. I'm gonna need a way to get rid of the items because I don't want to have to come down here. So I threw this on, and it's just I can have it on or off, you know. So if I'm doing building and like, you know, if I happen to die and my items get into the loop, I can have this shut off already so they won't like burn. But if I'm just AFKing, I can just turn this on, go AFK up at the farm, and, you know, do my magic. So I added that. I added this clock here, and this is the main part that like runs the farm. And what it's doing, and its purpose, is to have an on and off phase. So I want a phase where the farm's on and it's dropping gold ingots, and then I want a phase where the farm's off and it's not dropping gold ingots. And the purpose for this dual phase system is to allow my hopper chains down there to filter the items, so I don't waste any. Because what I was finding was that if I ran the farm for like 5 minutes, there's a lot of items piling up by the feet of the piglin, and I believe that's because I'm doing 2 piglins per cell, which I really wanted to do, but they're faster than the speed of a hopper. So that's why I have this dual phase system here, is to allow time for the items to fly or flow through the system. But what else I also did was I stacked, you guys can see I stacked the minecarts with hoppers underneath their feet, and I did 3 per cell, which is, it does a couple of things. It picks up items really fast, which is nice, and it can also filter items a little bit faster away from the cells, but we're still limited by the hopper speed of the chain here. But also, with 3 hopper minecarts, that's 12 spaces, like inventory spaces, per cell. So I can pick up more items from the ground and hold it, which, like, this works well with the off phase, you know, where they're not trading, and I can filter items so that we can free up more space, and then the next time this clock switches, there'll be more space for items to like fall. I haven't done a large or long test of this system, but it's worked pretty well in that mini one. So far, everything I've done, all the buildings that I've been doing, all failed pretty quickly with a small, quick test. So the fact that this one hasn't is good news. I do have to, I think, yeah, I have to get more gold though, because these were filled up completely with ingots, but I've gone through it all with all the testing I've been doing. And I also, like, technically, the last thing I have to do is hook up the gold distribution system, because currently I'm just filling these droppers by hand. I don't have anything set up to fill it automatically, and also provide a bit of backflow so it can hold more gold. So what my plan is now that the building's all done, or at least I'm done with it for now, is to do some AFKing and also keep the farm in stock and just let them trade for a while. Ooh, I have a spawnable block down there. I see that zombie piglin. But yeah, so let me just AFK for a while, guys, get the farm going, and let's see how many items I get. Well, it's been about a day and a half of quite a bit of AFKing. I think I've thrown about 16 or more stacks of gold blocks into the bartering farm. Yeah, I'm gonna shut this off. That is how I've been getting rid of my zombie flesh. I've built a little auto trash maker or deleter. And what it does is in the off state, it'll actually lock this hopper. So if I want to store up zombie flesh, I can, which will be useful when I get to village or trading. Yeah, let me look at this just to show you guys. The bottleneck I've come up with in this farm is it's actually the gold farm now. I haven't been able to give enough gold to the bartering farm to make it back up in terms of items, or my little dual phase thing here is actually doing a good job of keeping it restricted. And oh, that's a problem. Where is that? Is that gonna hit? Oh, that was really close. Oh crap, they just shut me off. That was really close to letting these guys out. I had to put this block of wool here to stop them. I think it was actually the carpet and the cobweb that saved them, or saves me from like them escaping, which would have been very fun trying to get them back in here. Let me just repair this real quick. I've had a problem with ghast spawning. So you saw it spawned way over there. I don't know where they're spawning in from, but it's been a few times now. So I'm just double checking this to make sure. Yeah, so it's locked. I think this is all set. I'm not missing anything. It's been a few times. That's the third ghast I've seen up here, and twice before. One time I was AFKing up at the gold farm, and I come back and I'm like down here at this level. That upper platform's destroyed. Thank God it didn't destroy like the chute or the collection system, but I was down here with like 2 hearts left and no food. So yeah, I don't know what happened. The ghast must have been shooting at me, and then it despawned, thankfully. And the second time, I was AFK, but I was at my computer doing other things, so I was able to catch it. It shot a fireball, and then I'm like, wait, why am I on fire right here? And it didn't do as much damage. But yeah, my main concern is it shooting the farm, the bartering farm, and killing my piglins. Also, how did this guy spawn in? So I have a problem with spawnable blocks. There's stuff spawning, and I gotta figure out where. But yeah, so back to what we were talking about. I haven't been able to give enough gold down here to make this thing overflow, which is, you know, good and bad, because I want to make sure I'm getting the maximum amount of items out of it as I can, but I also want to make sure I'm not like having items despawn or going into the trash chutes. So I think my next area where I can improve this is actually in the gold farm. And as you can see, I've kind of been experimenting with expanding the platforms. Ooh, that was almost bad. I keep falling off here. So the reason I did this shape originally from Nembomb's video, this little like oval shape, is because if like no matter where they spawn in on the shape, even if it's on the edges, it's like they can find a short route to the egg here and drop down. Because with farms, you want to have a mixture of getting the mobs away from the spawning platform or killing them as fast as you can so more can spawn in. So there's like a sweet spot. But I think because I did less floors than Nembomb did in his video, I want to work on expanding my floors. And so like I said, I'm experimenting with doing that a little bit. I've bulked it up just a little bit, as you can tell, based on the edges. And I have noticed a slight increase in spawn. But yeah, so let's take a look at what we've gotten so far for about 16 blocks of gold. We have almost a row of obsidian on each side. So just basically double these numbers, because we have the whole other side, which is going to have just about the same, like -1 or 2 blocks, because I've been giving the same amount of gold to both sides of this farm. But yeah, we have over a row and a half of crying obsidian, lots of soul sand, and a ton of blackstone and gravel, and good amount of quartz and nether brick, which is nice because I do like to use the red variant of this with the nether wart, so I like to get as much of that as I can. I don't know what I'm going to use leather for, but got plenty of it, and iron, and spectral arrows. And if we go here, guys, I forgot the bartering farms give you string, so I don't even need that quad cave spider spawner that I found. I haven't done anything with it, but I don't even need it because I've got plenty of string from this, and you know, fire charges, ender pearls. And how full is this? Okay, so this is pretty full. So I got plenty of potions. So yeah, that's I think that's gonna wrap it up for today though. I've done a lot of work here. I'm gonna keep AFKing, and I'm gonna keep tweaking the gold farm up here. But I am happy with how this has gone so far. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.